Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studio right here in almost snowy Matawan, New Jersey. We're about to get some weather, and that'll be fun.
I already got my winter skin on, so I'm ready. I'm ready for the. So we got a blizzard coming.
A blizzard coming. Apparently, Tommy D stopped in to give us the good news. He's like, by the way, it's 8 feet in Virginia right now. I'm like, okay, cool. We know we're gonna get snowed in, fine, but don't show. He's like, good luck having power. And I was like, what the fuck?
Disconnected I am from actual life that I find out today that it's gonna snow when I look outside and it's.
I mean, you got the weather app on your phone.
Yeah, I know.
And you never click on it just by accident.
I check the weather when you know what I use the weather app for?
What?
I'm pretty sure you know what I use the weather app for. I use the weather app to handicap football games
for Green Bay. Yeah.
Like I check the city that I'm about to bet in.
Absolutely makes sense. Sturch and Gooch are in the house. No Kyle today. He got snowed in, which means he lives about 25 minutes away and there's no snow on the ground, but that's what we're going to go with. So that's why Kyle is not in the house. But Dina weathered the storm, weathered her feeling of sickliness. What was that, your second shot or booster?
That was my first shot.
I told you that was her first shot.
I thought it was her second.
I'm going to get the worst one still, and I'm probably going to die.
So the first shot, Florgy yesterday, you left right after the show, and then obviously you trucked it on up here to produce this show. Game picks in green and yellow. That Danny knows. He knows how you. I was like, yeah, he can't get over it, by the way. So the pick bish is in the house as well. No Kyle, no problem there. We hope to see Kyle in the comments. Grasso is already coming in saying that he's in hiding. I don't believe in that, but maybe he's not prepared. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, look, I'm gonna look at his picks. I don't necessarily have to ride with the sauce this week. I have made my picks. We will get into those picks later on, as it is Championship Sunday. Lots of stuff going on this weekend. You got the WWE Royal Rumble on Saturday night, which Gooch will definitely be, his eyes will be glued to the TV screen for that. And so I'm excited. But in any event, first and foremost, if you want to support Chop Sports, please do so by going over to patreon.com/Chop Sports. We picked up a new member yesterday, Bobby, our pitcher for our softball team. He is a dynasty member, ladies and gentlemen. He's springing for the $10 a month. So thank you to Bobby. We really appreciate you. Learn how to interact with us on YouTube rather than Facebook, and I have to find out who you were after the show. So that's one thing. And of course, if you're watching this right now, which I know you are because I see the count, there are people watching it. Like the video. I know that you probably, if you're on your phone right now, Ashley brought this up. If you turn it sideways, it becomes full screen, so you can't see the like button. So do me a favor, turn it vertical for a second, then hit the like, then turn it back. So boom,
or in most people's case, you will probably have to pull down your settings and unlock because I lock mine. I can't, if I have it where it just automatically turns like that,
you go nuts.
I go crazy. I can't live that way. That's no way to live. So go into your settings, unlock your phone, do all of that, or just like the fucking video and go back into it. One or the other.
We appreciate that. Subscribe to the network. We got goals over here, folks. So help us get to that. I do want to plug Steve Aspara and his website development. He can be the guy. He's the guy you want to go to. If you're looking to build a website, go to Steve. There is plenty of contact information. Just hit me up with a DM and I'll send you all his information. Like I said, very affordable. He's built chopsportsmedia.com. He's building Ashley's workout, whatever you call it. Ashmere, is it ashmerefit.com?
Ashmerefit.com.
She bought it?
Yeah.
It's great. Well, it must be nice to buy something on the first shot. We tried chopsports.com. We're like, yeah, try again. And we're like, wait, what? So somebody has it, and I think that actually expires. So we're definitely gonna buy it and then
just
have a
for
reroute, whatever the hell you call it.
I have to get pickbitch.com. I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist.
I want to assume 110% that pickbish.com is available. And I'm looking into the distance now, by the way, folks. We put baby in the corner. Dina is in the corner now as we prepare to make our set design change. We put the producer desk over there in the corner. I did that myself. I feel very accomplished. I feel like I did something good. What?
You did a very good job. It's very nice.
I know. Sometimes I do good things. Speaking of good things, Absolute Eyewear. I got hit up with a text yesterday from Johnny. Now, look, there used to be you used to just go there and say Chop Sports and whatever, and it would be just a cool little reference because she's been putting advertising dollars with Chop Sports since Jump Street. But now it's even better. Now, if you go there, you're getting $100 off if you say Chop Sports. $100 off. So your frames, your lenses, your contacts, your sports goggles, all that stuff from Absolute Eyewear, Woodbridge, New Jersey. One of our mainstays, are one of our biggest supporters that we have is Janine and that family over there. For Craig, and maybe we'll ask Craig if he wants to play some softball this year. He's off anyway, right? If we're playing on Wednesday nights, so is Absolute Eyewear.
Do we play on Wednesdays? Or
no, probably not.
Thursdays?
But I'm making
Pretty sure we play
adjustments.
Thursdays.
We'll see. But Janine even went to one of the games and watched this. I don't even know if we won that day or lost that day, but she was in the house. Jimmy Palumbo was in the field, which, by the way, if you haven't checked out some of Jimmy's new videos, it seems like Johnny Trino is making a comeback again. He brought a new first baseman's mitt. So all of a sudden he thinks he's calling the shots again, and he's going to move himself over the first base. Little does he know that you're not going to play first base, Jimmy. So figure something else out for when softball season arrives. Love the hoodie, Dave. Yeah, boy. Listen, I was asked if I bought the Enemies hoodie because if you see, well, you can't see it here, but it is a Barstool Sports hoodie. They're not the enemy, obviously. They're us. They're us way past us. You know what I mean? So anyway, I grew up loving Deion Sanders, and his biggest quote is now on my hoodie. I love the hoodie. Feels good. It's actually,
speaking of Deion, did you hear Shaq?
Yeah, it's Shaq, man. Stop. Just stop. We get it. He led Jackson State and he did great things over there with college. But now you're gonna be like, hey, go coach the Cowboys. That'll change it. That'll turn it all around. And it's funny, as we say this at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Cowboys time, Jerry Jones is technically right now on the air. His office called 105.3 The Fan for an emergency.
They call that, I believe, Central Time. I don't think it's called Cowboys time.
I call it Cowboys time. But anyway, an emergency interview. He wanted to talk to the media. A lot of people on Twitter were buzzing, and they're like, well, what's he going to do? I'm like, well, he's not going to fire anybody over the air. You know, like, well, by the way, Mike McCarthy, your fat ass is out of there. Like, he's not going to do that. So, but he probably will nix the Sean Payton stuff and say, McCarthy's our guy until further notice, a.k.a. until you don't win another Super Bowl next year.
AKA, we're not giving up 2 number 1s and 2 number 2s.
Correct. We're not getting fleeced by the New Orleans Saints.
And then have to give up like a $12 million a year over 10-year contract. Nope.
Scoop coming in saying, hey, Dave, you look really nice today. See,
I see what they're doing.
This is the kind of shit you need because I don't have the Ashmere fit in the comments. So thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. I got my hair cut the other day. The beard is good. The hoodie's good. You look good. You feel good. You feel good. You play good. You play good. They pay good. So I'm paying myself for this. So, yes, thank you guys for that. So Absolute Eyewear, that's where I was going with it. Oh, by the way, Chris invited me yesterday to play fantasy baseball. First of all, we need a baseball season to actually happen to play this fantasy stuff. But I may have had and participated in one fantasy baseball draft in my entire life. So I will be the laughing stock of this league. Dina's in it. She's probably going to wipe the floor with me too. I know baseball. I just don't know how. Like, you're scoring, I have no idea, and I know it's not archaic. I know it's not hits and home runs.
A progressive league. It's a little different than what you're probably used to.
You say used to, but
you're not used to anything. But this is better. It's even better. I think roto leagues are shit, and everybody that's ever joined one of my leagues has been like, dude, this is the best, most fun I've had playing fantasy baseball. I'm not bragging, even though it sounds like I am. It's a very
how many
league.
Teams?
12.
Okay, and so we do know it's me, you, Toast, Dina, and Kyle. So that's 5. So
Scoop, and then there's a couple other people that have been grandfathered into the league for a while.
So did you kick anybody out?
Yeah.
Was it Ben?
No, he wasn't in it, but he would probably get kicked out.
I'm sorry, whoever.
What?
I said I'm sorry, whoever.
Yeah, I was gonna say we made room for Dina and Kyle. And we're like, by the way, you're not back. So fantasy baseball, can't wait to do that. I do want to give a shout out real quick to my boy Chuck, Dr. Chuck. If he's watching and watching, I bring this up because it's big news, guys. I don't know. We got NFC to AFC championship games. We got Royal Rumble. We got all this stuff going on. But did you know that Rafael Nadal is going for his 21st major this weekend at the Aussie Open? Aussie, right? Nobody cares, but I had to give a shout out to that. The only thing that's
good about the Australian Open, obviously, I'm not trying to discount tennis. I play tennis casually, leisurely.
You're like, I play tennis. I mean, that would give the idea that you do it a lot.
I mean, we do. Me and my buddy, we get together during the week sometimes. How many times did I say last?
Like twice.
Over the summer. No, we played like 8 times over the summer. So 8 times, you can't really play
I feel
tennis.
Like I would be really bad at tennis.
Yeah. And I'm not saying
I can't even run down to first base and you want me to play
The reason why I say that is because the first couple times that I got back into playing tennis, Now, I never actually played tennis. I just looked at it as a sport that like, well, I could definitely do that. And then you get out there and I'm looking to my left and there's two like 20-something-year-old Indian kids that look like fucking Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras. And I'm like, oh, right. And I'm whiffing serves. I have to turn it upside down and, just actually like get the easy serve.
The most I ever did playing with a tennis ball was school 14 baseball. Shout out, Danny knows what I'm talking about. We played aluminum bats, tennis balls. We were hitting them into the next town over, counting our home runs, counting our average. Nobody batted under 800. If my boy Slim's watching, like that, he knows. That was a deep league we ran. We had a website.
And what was this?
School 14 baseball. It was basically sandlot ball on concrete.
So yeah, we've done that we've had wiffle ball leagues.
Wiffle ball.
But I see Ken Paulman. He's bringing me back to my roots right here.
Why? What do you say?
Tennis court baseball at CHS.
Yeah,
bro.
Dude.
We would do it. We had a lot of variations of baseball games. We played monster ball where you bounce like a kickball and hit a kickball
with a tennis racket
with a bat.
Oh,
with
Jesus.
a baseball bat. So where we would just have home run derbies in the tennis courts.
So I
will say the football, the what's now the Colonial High School baseball field. We used to go in and sneak in there and play football when I was a kid, and that's how I fucked my whole knee up. Tore my patella tendon.
All right, so I have to tell a story that Danny came in and said the sign got the best of me. So we had this kid, or have my buddy Tim Ferris, right? He used to crush every single ball that was in his wheelhouse. He used to put them on the roof across the way, right? So Danny thought he would be a smart ass and play behind the fence. Like, he's gonna hit it here anyway, guys. And I'm like, all right, stay back there. So Tim's up, fat ball right down the middle, cracks it. Deep, right? Everybody's like gone, right? So off the bat, Danny, full speed, starts booking it. He's booking it. And there's like a no parking sign right here. God. And just bang, I'm talking flat earth, dead. Not dead, he's here, but he's almost dead.
Whew, I've had several shitty moments like that.
Bro, that's why he legitimately still had. Danny's a Scarface, and I hope his son doesn't pick up where he left off because my brother there's multiple things going on, and he's like a stud, but so all the scars kind of play into it, like the eyebrow, a little slice. I
don't want to start pointing out my flaws on my face, but yeah, I'm kind of dealing with the same shit. I got lumps and scars all over, cauliflower ears.
Do you have cauliflower ear anymore?
A little bit.
You
can
see that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Danny messed himself up when he was a kid. He was just all banged up all the time.
Curb your dog sign.
Say what?
Curb your dog was the sign.
Oh, curb your dog. All right. Well, even worse. That's terrible. But it was sharp. And Danny's been through the grinder, man. We beat the shit out of that kid. And sometimes intentional, sometimes not. He's a little brother. Like, that's what happens. Did you get beat up by your big brother?
No, I'm definitely able to kick his ass.
I mean, not now. I'm talking about back in the day.
No, I would say that growing up, the way my father handled things was he was coaching me because I was the younger one. And if me and my brother were fighting, typically my father was right there. It wasn't like break it up.
Which is insane.
It was like, all right.
Every time me and Danny wrestled, we had to do it in the basement or somewhere where nobody would know what we're doing, because if they found out,
I will say
crack the whip.
I will say this, that being the younger brother has its advantages when it comes to those types of things, because you're always fighting against older kids.
Were you loved more?
I wouldn't say love
by your mother.
No, my mother.
Yeah.
My mother would never love one of her children more than the other,
or at least I got a story.
Or at least indicate that she loves somebody more. But my dad coached me, but my dad coached
both of us. My mom. It was
Carl's
so clear.
Carl's listening right now, and all his childhood angst is coming out. Fuck you, Dad.
You never loved me. No, it's very clear, very apparent. To this day, my mother still prefers my brother, and it's not even close. And that's why I'm mentally scarred for life. And I don't know if my brother's probably chiming in, but this just got.
If any of my siblings are here, they're gonna be like, "Shut the fuck up! You're the favorite." They all fucking give me a hard time. I'm not the favorite. I'm the nicest.
Oh, Scoop-a-loo, my mom definitely loves me more than my brother. I didn't know Scoop had a brother. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe that's the joke. I don't know. But shout out to Scoop's mom, who she's okay, but she got in a car accident yesterday while he was recording. And shout out to the dedication. He didn't leave to go attend to her. He kept recording his podcast. I feel like an asshole. Scoop, you're the best. Anyway, let's get into some sports, huh? Not bad for a 15-minute open. The NBA All-Star is what people tune out. No, I'm kidding. We actually have NBA fans in this chat. And people that listen to us every day are NBA fans. I'm a Knicks fan first. They are terrible all of a sudden, so it's hard for me to get really, really into it too knee deep. But the NBA All-Stars, which by the way, still a thing, that was they were announced. Now, when was it? Was there a year where like players were also like picking their team? Like the players
that's
picked them?
I'm going to explain how this is all going to happen.
Please break it down.
All
but
right.
let's pull up the NBA.
This is the Eastern Conference All-Stars.
There's your Eastern All-Stars starters. Okay, this is chosen by Kevin Durant, the team captain. Which, by the way,
no.
What?
No. All right. So this is chosen by 50%, I believe, fans, 25% players, and then 25% coaches. And that's how they weight the votes. It could be wrong about the 25 and 25. I'm not sure even the three. But I know it's fans. I know it's players. The third one, probably coaches, I want to say.
Okay.
Right. And then I'm not sure how it's weighted, but it's 50%, 25, 25.
Mm-hmm.
And then what they do is that's how they pick the starters. And I would imagine that they pick the reserves that way as well. Right now, they didn't announce the reserves. That gets announced February 3rd. Then they have a draft February 10th. So these are the starters for both sides. Well, the Eastern Conference. I'm not going to pull up the other one yet. This is the 5 starters. So they can't be picked to the other team. And then they round out their teams with 2 guards, 3 forwards, and then 2 wild cards. So it'll be 5, 7, 10, 12-man rosters.
Okay.
They don't have to pick a center.
This team looks legitimate.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, well, first of all, is Durant even going to play in this game?
No.
Okay.
So obviously Durant will be replaced, and Durant will probably be altogether replaced, and there'll be another extra guy added to the player pool for them to replace Durant.
And obviously, we see Trae Young, DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's in the game as well. So that they look stacked, bro. I mean, look, for not an NBA guy, I've known that these 5 guys have been terrorists to the New York Knicks for the last couple of years. So they're all, I guess, well-deserving of being the starting lineup here.
I mean, like, obviously, the main conversation when all-star picks get named and is like, who's the snub? The Eastern Conference, I feel like they got it right. I really do feel like they got it right. You can make the case that James Harden deserves to be there over DeMar DeRozan or even a KD for that matter, but KD's the leading vote getter in the East, I believe.
I think he's the leading vote getter in the whole NBA.
Yeah, so you're not going to take KD out. And you can make the case that Harden is having a better season than DeMar DeRozan. I don't think so. I don't know their numbers, but I know that the Bulls are winning a lot of basketball games, and DeMar DeRozan is the main reason why.
I think the Nets are down to the 4 seed now.
Either way, they're about a game and a half behind the 1. So
Correct,
it's not like they're far
tight.
behind. It's definitely a tight race. But DeMar DeRozan is the reason. I would say that the Brooklyn Nets have dealt with a lot of injuries and things like that, but most teams have. And if you look at the Bulls, they're also dealing with their share. Lonzo Ball's out. So I say DeMar DeRozan deserves it. Just because Harden's got the name value, this is why they get it right. This is the one time where the fans, I'm actually impressed. They didn't fuck it up. And DeMar DeRozan, I'm happy for him to get the job or get the nod, I should say.
Yeah, no, I will not. That's why.
Antetokounmpo.
No, that's not even close. What? It's not. Say it again.
You say it.
I can't. That's why I make fun of it because I can't.
Antetokounmpo. That's exactly how you say it.
I just call him Giannis. How about that? Or Giannis, as I used to call.
Yeah, stop.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. How about
Giannis.
Giannis is playing in this game. So, all right. So the East looks good. Moving on over to the West because I'm curious. The only gripe I have here, and this is LeBron. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, he belongs where he belongs. Steph Curry, John Morant's having himself an unbelievable season. And obviously the Joker is in the game. Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, that's the one that everybody's
that's the one
that everybody's up in arms about. I can name about 3 or 4 guys off the top of my head that I would put in over Wiggins, starting with Luka. You know, I don't know how star power Luka doesn't get the nod.
Yeah, seriously, what the?
But even Luka, I would say that there's Karl Anthony Towns, especially given the fact that Wiggins, I guess you could consider him a forward, but I would say that you put Karl Anthony Towns. Look, Towns is doing better in all statistical categories across the board than Wiggins. And I'm just going to rattle him off. He's better in points, better rebounds, more assists, more blocks per game, more steals per game, better field goal percentage, better free throw percentage, and a better 3-point percentage. And explain to me how. I'll explain. It's Minnesota against Golden State.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't even put Wiggins in over Draymond Green, who his stat line isn't that great, but he's far more important to the success of that team, and he has more star power. So I'm a little confused about what's going on out west, but obviously all these guys are going to end up making the team regardless.
Yeah, we got some serious comments coming in. Obviously, Kyle being Kyle who he is here, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Kyle. Trae Young, 249th rated defender out of 250, and he's in the NBA as a starter. Like, again, that was talking about the East, but then he says nobody respects defense. Curry, Scoop's coming and saying Curry doesn't belong in this year.
Okay, so that's not true. Curry probably belongs in. I mean,
yeah.
I guess you could make the case that you.
I mean, isn't he having one of those years where he's just shooting his mind off?
No, he was having a really good first month and a half, and then he's definitely tailed off a little bit. If you saw the graphic the other day that they shared to me, and it was like Steph Curry's shooting looks like a concert tour at this point. It was like 4
all
for
over the map.
4 for 17, 4 for 18, 4 for 21. So it literally looked like it was. And then it was like
really funny.
And then it was 5 for this, 5 for this, 5 for this, 6 for this, 6 for this. So I made the joke. I was like, "Yeah, I got tickets to see Curry on the May 24th show, Memorial Day weekend."
Wait, that was in the chat.
Yeah, you just were largely absent.
I missed. Maybe it's the NBA that turns me off of the chat because I can't really like contribute. Look, man, I missed the All-Star weekends where there was like the dunk contest was really popular and the 3-point contest was popular.
I raised the question to these guys though, if they're going to say that Steph Curry doesn't belong in out west, name the guys.
You got to replace him.
If Trae Young doesn't belong in, Kyle, who would you put in over him?
Quickly, obviously.
No, like realistically, I'm curious because I'm not really that.
Julius Randle not a starter.
I could tell you that I think guys are really good or really, but there's some wrinkles to this that Kyle's a little bit deeper into the NBA than I am. So who is the guard right now that you put in? Who's the guard that goes in over Trae Young?
Yeah, I mean,
we're waiting.
I'm waiting, Kyle.
Oh, he's waiting for that. So if you're taking Trae Young out the East, who's gonna be the point guard? Who's gonna be the one? So we'll see.
Harden? And then you leave DeRozan in. I mean, James Harden plays point guard. Yeah. See, there you go.
Probably Harden.
Same page. I guess you could make the case if you're going to take one of them out, it's probably should be Trae Young. I don't believe they're over 500 right now.
Is the Hawks?
Yeah.
The mighty have fallen. I mean, the Knicks are under 500 too, but that was your first round matchup last year of 4 and the 4 and the 5, and now both of those teams under 500 struggling.
I'm not positive that the Hawks are definitely under 500.
What I'm saying,
I know that
they're
middling.
Lose from last year's hot team besides Reddish being traded to the Knicks. What else did they lose? Players wise, I can't tell you. I'm telling you, like how are they not performing the way they were the hottest team in the league last year at one point, right? In the East, at least on that conference, that journey they took by taking out the Knicks and beating up on the Sixers and the Sixers, right? Yeah, in the second round. I believe they played the Sixers in the second round.
I don't know.
You don't remember?
I know if I thought about it, but
Zach LaVine.
I'm not going to co-sign it because I'm not positive.
Zach LaVine should be in this. Hawks are 22 and 25. Getting hot. Well, I think the Knicks are now 21 and 26. So it's like right around the same wavelength for them. But
yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Well,
Chris Paul deserves it too, maybe out west. But moving off of the All-Star, because I know that there's a lot more to talk about as we go further.
Yeah, I mean that'll get closer. We'll talk about it as it gets closer. But the things that are prominent right now is in fact the AFC and NFC title games coming up this Sunday, which is great. A great day of football. Obviously, Gooch is removed a week from his team. I'm 2 weeks removed from mine. So we maybe sit back and enjoy some football. I know I enjoyed last week thoroughly, even with my team not being there. But we kind of won the offseason already. We brought back Dan Quinn. Done, right? We win.
Shut the fuck up. 1-0.
You guys lose a coordinator. We retain a coordinator. The Cowboys won.
If you guys won the offseason, we definitely lost it. Right, we lost Hackett, and now apparently there's a super trade.
Oh, the super trade.
So like the general manager Devontae Adams, right, and Aaron Rodgers' agents combined, and now they actually run the organization in Green Bay. So they decided collectively, Aaron Rodgers was upset that the Packers are mistreating his good friend Devontae, and they're together now forcing a trade to Denver with Nathaniel Hackett. Come on,
that's it. So the Broncos to the championship next year. We'll be talking about the Broncos.
It's like a Mad Lib. Aaron Rodgers articles where they just wait
blanks.
It's like, okay, we have this one set up. As soon as Denver becomes, gains steam, we'll just insert team names here.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, let's start with the AFC, right? I mean, we've been talking about it. We talked about it yesterday. So many storylines. You said it right before. Coach Burrow.
Yeah.
You said that was the story today. Coach Burrow, Joe Burrow's father. What, tweeted it out?
He
Instagrammed
posted a picture of his son in a Chiefs helmet as a young lad, a wee little boy.
I guess it all comes full circle, and Joe Burrow is playing his favorite team.
I don't know if it's his favorite team. I had a Hutch Jets thing when I was very, very young because you couldn't find Packers shit in 1960, Dave. Who's
buying you anything in 1960?
You're missing the point. That was an age joke. Anyway, but it was 1980.
He was trying to get himself older.
Yeah,
I get it.
It It was a Jets hutch and a 49ers hutch, but the problem was that
What do you mean hutch?
You don't know what hutch is? Damn,
No.
you are young.
No, just explain it to me. Maybe I know it and I didn't know the name of it.
It's like when they would have like the plastic helmet with the jersey.
Oh, with the one bar?
Yeah,
like
with
the
one bar
bar
across.
Oh, all right.
But
Yeah,
the problem
exactly
was my dad botched this one, and he got like a big Jets helmet and a small Jets jersey and a small 49er helmet with a big, so they were opposite. So I had the helmet.
So you
and
your brother look stupid.
Yes. Very stupid.
I do remember that. I probably had a Cowboys one. I can't remember off the top of my head, but anyway, this game in particular, we'll get into it. The only thing I could say, and by the way, the lines, this is where this is where the picks are made here. The line is -7.5. The Chiefs are favored at home. I don't know about that number. I'll get into in a second. The over-under, however, 54.5. Now, if you watched what the Chiefs were able to do last week with the Bills, and then you watch what Cincinnati is normally capable of doing on the regular, maybe not against the Titans, but in general, both of these teams could score points. So if I had to really guess right off the rip, I know the public is probably going to be smashing the over, thinking that there's going to be a lot of points scored in this one. I'm with that. I'm actually with the public. I think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. As good as the Chiefs' defense has played since their winning streak started, Spagnuolo he is going to dial it up, and I think that he's going to get to Burrow. The only thing I can say about Burrow this week is that this isn't the Titans. You have to go punch for punch with Patrick Mahomes. That's why I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if this is the same scenario as last week where, like, last team to have the ball is going to win this game, right? I think the Chiefs overall better team, right? So it's all a matter of, can Burrow keep this close, right? Burrow was put on his ass 9 times last week. If he's even put on his ass half that amount of times this week, I think it's tough sledding for the Bengals. And I love the story. I love the kid. I love Jamar Chase. I love all this stuff. When push comes to shove, Gooch, I'll pick it first. I'm going to ride with the Chiefs to cover the number. And if you notice on most of these betting sites, not only is it -7.5, it is plus money to win. It is plus 100 to win if you take the Chiefs minus the 7.5, which I personally have never seen because I'm not a deep diving gambler like Toast and Sauce.
So
and all these guys.
might mean that it might drop back down to 7 next. I feel like that's how it's trending. I could be wrong. I might be just really bad with math right now, or just understanding of how that works, not processing it. But you're saying that they're plus 100.
Plus
right?
100.
So they're not minus 110 at -7.5, the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
so it's
plus 100.
They're plus 100. So which means that it'll probably be -7 plus or minus 110.
That's how much of a shift
kickoff
that happens?
It's not that big of a shift. That's actually like the smallest possible shift you could have.
A half a point.
Yeah.
Yes. I know
No. Meaning like
as far as the odds.
They manipulate the odds and then the point spread,
Got it.
consecutively.
But like I said, I want them to fight. And personally, I think they can, right? My brother came in and said, Joey B going down with a fight. It's going to be a field goal game. I don't know, man. Kelsey, I finally got a chance to watch what you told me to watch yesterday with him like calling his shot and then just all the mechanics and the adjustments that the Chiefs have made over the course of this little run they've had. And I'm not talking about just this year. Every year they're the juggernaut of the AFC. We've seen it time and time again. Like I said, I love the story. Joe Burrow's the guy, right? Joe Burrow is going to be the future of the AFC, and he'll probably wind up playing Josh Allen and Mahomes and Herbert and Lamar Jackson for the rest of time, right? But this week, I got to ride with the Chiefs at -7.5. So give me the Chiefs -7.5 plus the over 54.5.
Yeah, the line opened at 7. It went up to 7.5. I feel like they were begging people to take Cincy in this one. I'm not sure where the money is. This is why we like to have Kyle on these shows, because he kind of helps us out with, I'll speculate, but I'm not actually looking at the data to see where the money is actually going. But look, Honey Badger, I just saw him brought up in the comments. I don't think that they know whether he's going to play or not. I think it obviously factors in because
he's going to carry a questionable tag all the way kickoff.
We were talking yesterday about this, and obviously you just brought it up again, how Burrow was sacked 9 times. That's the Achilles heel for the Cincinnati team. And because I think that Kansas City is going to score a ton of points in this game, it's not going to be, you're right, over. I'm slapping the over 100%. 34-31 week 18 or week 17. These two teams just met in Kansas City and they scored a ton of points. I expect a little bit of the same. You saw that Kansas City's defense is easily had, even though they will dial up the blitz. Josh Allen might be a little more capable. right?
You can't compare the two yet.
I'm not saying that Josh Allen is better or worse than Joe Burrow or projecting either of the. I'm just saying in terms of dealing with the pressure, I feel like Josh Allen is a little more adept at dealing with that.
Mm-hmm.
But Tyrann Mathieu out on the back end, I did say yesterday that there's probably going to be a lot of low-hanging fruit if they can pick up the blitz, because I imagine that Kansas City is going to be sending the house most of the time, get in Joe Burrow's face
and go zero coverage against the receivers they got?
I would, if I'm doing it, and I'm not a defensive coordinator, clearly, I would go cover 2 deep safety, and I would be pressing the receivers at the line, and I would be disrupting the timing of everything.
Right.
And I would make Joe Burrow break the pocket, and if they could kind of make it happen there. But I expect Joe Burrow there's going to be guys in his face all day. And if Matthew's not there at the back end to kind of shore things up, that could present problems. I do think that there's points and big plays to be had for Cincinnati. So I will say that they're going to score some points, but I just think the Chiefs are in a position right now where they might score 40 or 50 points in this
Before
game.
you make your pick, Kyle is coming in. The public is on Kansas City. Sharp money on Cincinnati heavy. The move from 7 to 7.5 is sketchy. The books may be laying a trap for Bengals bettors. That's what he thinks, his expert opinion on the line movement, at least from 7 to 7.5. To me, I saw the line. I'm like, that's kind of high for this. And then I saw the plus money, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
I'd lay 13.
What?
Like I'm not saying I would. I'm not going to. Maybe I will go alternate line.
So you're in.
I think
lockstep
the Chiefs are gonna win this game easily. And I think that Cincinnati's going to keep on fighting because it's a playoff game, and there'll be some points and there'll be some big plays at the end of that game for them. And they might somewhat try to make it interesting, but I just don't see it. Not yet for Cincinnati.
They weren't even supposed to be here.
They haven't won a playoff game since 91. They won 2. They got a bright future. But you see even teams like the Bills, it just takes a little bit to get over that hump. And it's season after season. The Packers have been trying to get over the hump for 25 years.
And don't get it twisted. I'll tell you right now, I'm rooting for Joe Burrow to win this game. I would wholeheartedly love to see.
I like Joe Burrow a lot. And,
yes.
And you sometimes you see these young quarterbacks come and take the league by storm, and that's what Joe Burrow is obviously doing. Mm-hmm. And Pat Mahomes did it, and Pat Mahomes at a young age was able to go out and win the Super Bowl, right? But guess what? There wasn't a Pat Mahomes that you had to get through for Pat Mahomes. Right now, there is that guy, and it is Pat Mahomes, and Joe Burrow's going to be in over his head there. And Kyle did bring up a good point. I said it yesterday. We have a very different conversation right now if Janoris Jenkins doesn't drop that pick and Titans end up winning that game, most likely if that goes down that way. And we see Tannehill against Pat Mahomes right now instead of Joe Burrow.
Yeah. All right. Well, there it is. There is your AFC Championship game. So according to us, the Chiefs will be representing in the AFC. Flipping on over to the NFC, which both of us know more like the back of our hand because both of us were victim to the San Francisco 49ers run that they're on right now as they go into LA, SoFi Stadium. They are plus 3.5. The Rams are favored 3.5. The over-under, kind of low, 45.5 right now. I'll start with you. You can go ham on this one. Fresh off the Packer loss, do you feel like the 49ers can put the recipe together to beat the Los Angeles Rams this week?
It's not whether the 49ers could put the recipe together. Like, they have the recipe together. It's there. It's plain as day. They're 6-0 in their last 6 against this team. Last time they played, it was a tight game. Obviously, this was week 18. And the 49ers, like they've been doing, they've been going in there and kind of showing teams that they're a little bit better than everybody's giving them credit for. You had mentioned it to me going into the playoffs. You were like, the 49ers have won like 6 out of 8. And I was like, I don't think so. And then I went back and looked. Like, the 49ers have been winning a lot of football games.
Yeah.
And the Rams have been victim of them twice in that stretch. Obviously, this is a new Rams team. I said it yesterday. Odell makes them a little bit different than Robert Woods did. I think he's a little more dynamic. I like Robert Woods. He's one of my favorite players. Great blocker, does everything well. But Odell, obviously, the shine left Odell because of the back end of Eli's career, and the Giants were clearly not capable of putting together a decent squad. And then Baker Mayfield. So now you see Odell in a very good situation, and he's obviously a game changer. I'm sure that Cooper Kupp is going to get brought up plenty, and I don't know that there's an answer for those guys on the outside. But the 49ers do the ball control, so there is some elements of this game where it's like they know each other so well. It's hard for me to pick against San Fran in the postseason. Shanahan's 5-1 career. His only loss is against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and they even had that game in the first half. So I'm not going to pick the Rams here, even though I really want to. because I think that they're the better team. But I thought that the 49ers were the worst team each of the last 3 weeks, including the Rams game in week 18, and they've won all 3. So I'm not going to sit here and fuck with what I think is possibly a team that just they got a tunnel vision, and they're going to be in the Super Bowl against Kansas City.
So you are taking the 49ers to the Super Bowl. Will that ease the pain for you a little bit? Like, as far as me, to me, I'm like, oh, we just lost to the NFC champs.
No. There's no such thing. I do not care. I don't care who beats us, and then they go on to do this. Like, my team lost. I'm out. My brother's a 49er fan. Good friend of mine growing up, Sean, Brophy, 49er fan. So I'm going to go with people that
Evan
in my life that I care about. And
I don't care about Evan.
Well, no. To be clear, he sends me dumb texts at like 6 a.m. about the fucking 49er Packer game. Shut up, Evan.
My boy Greg, there's 49er fans out
like
there.
I'm not a bitter guy. I'm not.
Bobby,
I don't want them to win or lose because they beat me either way.
Okay.
I mean, my brother's a 49er fan. That's the reason why I'm pulling for them. That's not why I'm picking them. I'm not.
Oh, you broke down why you're picking them.
Like I'm on the fence about it, but because I'm on the fence, I'm going to go with the guy that's constantly winning in this situation, and that's Shanahan, 6-0 against McVay.
All right. Well, guys, if you're watching this right now, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We want to see those numbers go up as we head into championship weekend. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it's been a feel-good story for both of these squads in their own respective ways. We've seen the 49ers end my season, right? They went into Dallas. They took care of business. Then the next week, they go into the legitimate.
I also like the over.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. All right. So you're going with the over.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So yes, they took out Dallas and Dallas. They go to the legitimate frozen tundra. They beat up on the Packers in a way. I guess I can't even say beat up. They didn't beat them up, but they made enough plays to get it done, right? So now they find themselves in sunny California with a dome. So there's really no weather element whatsoever. But flip side of this, Matt Stafford, again, a lot of people wrote this guy off, and then they trade him to LA, and his career is rejuvenated. He's been through a lot personally with his wife, and I factor these things in. I do. I think that's a human element to the game, and I think that the story here is Matt Stafford's comeback story into relevance, right? And then you have the 49ers who have been running the ball down people's throats, and I think that's the story right now. With that, I'm going to tell you right now, only because you know it too, it's very, very hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. And if McVay is the genius that everybody says he is, he will have an answer for certain looks that the 49ers defense bring to him. He will have certain packages on defense to shut down the run. And I'm not saying shut down. If you hold Eli Mitchell in that running game, Deebo Samuel to under 100, maybe even $110, I'll give him, right? You probably have a recipe for success, because I don't know if Jimmy G is capable of winning this game through the air. I just don't see it. And of course, I'm going to eat crow and he's going to throw for 400, right? But he probably won't. For that reason, the whole beating a team 3 times, McVay is one of the brighter minds in this league. Stafford's story is incredible of just being completely written off as an unsuccessful quarterback that padded his stats because the Lions were always trailing. Then you add Odell. Then you add this defense. A lot of people picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl from Jump Street. And here they are in a position to go to the Super Bowl, and they're going to get it done. I think the Rams win this game. I think they cover the number, -3.5. I think they win by 4 or more. They'll get that done. The feel-good story for the Niners is over. And it's no discredit to what they've done. This run has been incredible. What they've done, and this isn't ill will either. I'm not saying like, oh, they beat my Cowboys, screw them. Like, again, I got rooting interest as well. I would love to see my friends happy. That's what I do. That's how I am. That's the mojo and the karma that I believe in, right? Be happy for your friends. But I think this Rams team on paper, and I know you're going to say, well, the Cowboys and the Packers were both better on paper, right? The Rams team is better on paper. Hard to beat a team 3 times. Give me the Rams in this game. However, the over-under, I'm usually all for points, but the 49ers, if they get that 7-0, 10-0 lead for whatever reason, they're going to try to run so much clock off that it's going to be hard for the Rams to they'll score points, but not in bunches like I've seen. I'm taking the under in this game. I want the Rams at home and the under, and the Rams will play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and I think that makes for the better Super Bowl entertainment-wise. I mean, lighten up the skies and, playing good. And oddly enough, for the second year in a row, the home team is playing in their home field. Tampa did it last year in Tampa. This year, LA is going to do it in LA. I wish the game got moved to Dallas just because.
I'm curious to see how the Rams whole thing that they did with the ticket sales is going to work out. I still think it's going to be a 49er home game.
I want to see what, they shut down.
As if there's a bunch of fans of the Rams living in LA. No, they're all 49er fans in LA too.
Or
so
Raiders
what's the difference?
Or Raiders, right. They're split up there. And I think the Rams have had a hard time since coming over from St. Louis, getting that rabid fan base. And, in LA, California as a whole is just a bunch of.
In my lifetime, the Rams have switched from LA to St. Louis, back to LA,
and nobody seemed to notice.
Did they somewhere else?
The intro to baseball.
Was there anywhere else that they played?
No, that's
it.
LA, Los Angeles. LA, St. Louis, Los Angeles. But yeah, so I'm with the Rams. And that'll be that. They shut that shit down. It's going to be blood red there. Oh, I guess my brother's saying that.
You want to know why? Because nobody was buying tickets.
Right.
So like,
you're like, oh man, we have a block on this, but now we might want to rethink things because nobody's going to be in the crowd, But I'd rather have an empty stadium, not trying to take it back to 2020, but I'd rather have an empty stadium than a stadium full of 49er fans at a Rams home game. That would suck.
Hey, Chris, on the Chiefs game, did you have an over-under for that?
He took the over.
I took the over.
Yeah, so you write that down. Lock that in.
Probably going to be over in the first half.
I think
the Chiefs
so
are going to hit that over themselves.
So before we get out of here, so those are the picks for this week, and obviously we'll have a 2-week build-up to the Super Bowl, which is going to be I hate that, but I know why they do it, right? At least hopefully they get Radio Row back and Media Row and all that stuff, and people can actually, because last year it was just Zoom call after Zoom call. It was awful. So maybe they'll actually have these guys show up in their jerseys and, do the whole media day, media week. But anyway, before we get out of here, I definitely want to touch on something. It seems like the Cross Court Cast hosts, which, by the way, brand new episode, is up today. They talk about how bad the Knicks suck. And by the way, shout out to Scoop for sending me 2 weeks ago's episode to edit. I edited it all the way through, and I was about to hit finish, but then I realized the close was "Have a happy New Year, be safe, don't drink and drive," and I'm like, well, that's that already happened. So let me text Scoop, see what's going on. But he had a little bit of a rough night last night, so I'm not going to fault him to it. But I was editing that bitch at 10 o'clock at night because I just can't sleep. But anyway, both of these guys, Scoop brought up the hot take that you like, that nobody else likes, or something to that effect, where it's just a sports take that people can't agree with, but you're very passionate about. Vinny brought up something really good, and this kind of made me upset. It made me upset because I feel like I wasn't at enough cool shit. So this is basically a topic of saying, what is the greatest thing you've ever seen from the stands? Like the greatest thing, basically the best sports moment you saw from the stands. And Vinny kicked it off, literally and figuratively, with the Rutgers and Louisville game from a couple of years back, pandemonium in Piscataway. I remember where I was. Did you care about it at the time?
I was rooting hard for Louisville.
You were rooting hard for Louisville. We now would retract that and say we're rooting for Rutgers for all of our chop athletes, I guess.
I'm just being honest.
Yes. Yeah. I was at the Woodbridge Fridays with my boy Tommy. The better part of that game was obviously the win, but then the decision in our smart minds that say, if we want to have a good time tonight, we got to drive to New Brunswick right now. And then as soon as we got into the first street, it's like couches on fire and shit. I'm like, this is incredible.
It was just Louisville, guys.
It wasn't. Weren't they ranked
Alabama.
Fourth in the country at the time?
And if Louisville ranked fourth in the country had beaten in Alabama, they would have treated it the same way Rutgers treated it when they beat Louisville. Louisville was they were a really good team.
Okay, so he started off with that. Do you have any personal ones that jump off the screen? I have a couple. Before we get into this list.
I have a lot of Yankee moments because I used to go to a lot of Yankee games. I would go to one game per playoff series for the entire
playoff run
decade
that they have. Yeah.
I saw the Boone home run. You can't beat that.
I'm
not sure that anybody's going to really beat that in this whole entire discussion.
Really?
The Aaron Boone home run.
There's a couple.
No, I've been at some crazy moments. I saw A-Rod hit the game tying home run in the bottom of the ninth off Joe Nathan, and then Teixeira ended up hitting the game winner.
Oh my God. We almost killed my sister-in-law that day.
So I was at that game. I've been to some Packer games, but those were special to me. They came back, down 19-7 in the fourth against the Vikings. That was cool, but it was just a regular season game. It was also insanely cold. So that was the story I was telling you about pouring beers out. And by the time you were done pouring the beer out, there was a 2-foot icicle standing off the ground. It was so cold. I almost died. But anyway,
I have you got any more?
I probably do. This is one of those situations
You're gonna say like, oh,
after the show,
I was there.
Or yeah, you're gonna name a bunch. I might be like, oh, I was
Right.
at that. I was at that. Or after the show, I'm gonna be like, oh, I can't believe I didn't remember that one.
Were you at any big UFC events?
I saw John Jones win his title against Shogun. I was like 5th row for that. I saw GSP beat Dan Hardy in one of the most boring fights in history. I've seen a lot of UFC. I had tickets to go see Khabib against Ferguson in Brooklyn, but then Tony Ferguson tripped over a wire with his sunglasses on, and it was Al Iaquinta. So that was a cool, I was also right, 5th row for that. So I've gone to a lot of UFCs where I was sitting pretty much cage side. Met a lot of cool people. I sat next to Mike Tyson and John Jones' family when he won the belt.
Really?
Yeah, so it was cool.
That's a cool moment. I only have a couple. Staying on the Yankees, I was there for the Didi Gregorius grand slam against Minnesota in the play-in game. I was in the left field bleachers. He hit it into the right field bleachers, but I do remember getting trounced with beer. Like, not mine, just everybody else. Yeah, and they just throw it up, and I'm just like, I can see it in slow motion. I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. Like, and I just got trounced with beer. I was at that one. But my favorite moments, obviously, I was in it was Dallas, obviously. I go to Texas with my brother in 2015. Tony Romo hits Jason Witten. They beat the Giants. That was opening night, but it was the greatest thing I've ever seen. You felt the building was shaking, right? And that's hard because AT&T is not your typical home field advantage, right? But I remember that moment, like I'll never forget it. And then, of course, I went out to Texas with me, my dad, and my brother for opening night. Or no, it was week 2 against the Giants. And Tavon Austin hits a post, catches a post route. My dad looked at us and he's like, this place is shaking. Right. And it's always a special moment when you can go with your old man. And he's never been out there. So we finally dragged him out there and had a great time. But those are mine. And I know they're not like big moments in history, and that makes me upset because this list right here of people of what they saw, I'm like, son of a bitch. I wish so bad I was at some of these.
I was at the Matsui Grand Slam in the snow on opening day. Like that's great.
Awesome. Right. So I got to get out more. As I'm 36 now with 2 kids. I got to get out more, guys. So Salerno and Travis Ola, both at the Jeter Mr. November game. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
The clock struck 12. It was in November.
Definitely.
It was 9/11 year. He hits the home run and wins that one. Sam Grasso said yesterday that he was at David Cohen's perfect game. And that was like,
I know like 20 people that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think it was like a Saturday afternoon, 1:00 start, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I remember it being sunny when he dropped down to his knees.
Is that Kyle said he was at David Cohen's perfect game too. So Sam Grasso and
Devils
Kyle,
game 4 sweep over Detroit.
Sam Grasso and Kyle have been best friends all the way since way back then. That's crazy, guys.
What a link.
Oh, the Rutgers
right?
was mine.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say you guys were at that Rutgers upset.
How was the tailgate that day, guys? Did you guys
share beers? But it is funny. You guys were just at the biggest, greatest Rutgers basketball win ever.
It was amazing.
Ever. So that's crazy to be there. And I remember you walking out like, I guess I'll go to the Rutgers game. Like, it was just like a long day. You're like, I'm so tired, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, Toast is in the house. Like, you guys are going to have a great time. Bang. They beat the number 1 team in the country. Crazy. Tommy D he was here before, and I asked him if he was at anything. He said he was at the Mariano Rivera when he broke the saves record. So that's kind of cool. There was one guy said he was at the USA versus Mexico game, 2013 World Cup qualifier in Columbus. Now, he said Columbus. Does that mean like Columbus, not Ohio? Like, this is like.
Why are you asking me?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why this would be a big moment.
I would imagine
U.S. men's soccer.
Yes, probably Ohio. I don't know another Columbus. Maybe another city in America, but I don't know if there's like a Columbus.
Maybe I'm thinking like Columbia. I don't know. Somebody help me out with that one. But anyway, let's see. Tom Benny was at the 2003 Devils Stanley Cup Championship, and so was Steve Aspara, and so was Ken Paulman. So 3 guys that are in Chop Sports right now, mixing it up for the first time, or at least since Chop Sports has been around. Y'all were in the same building at the same time for the same win. And go screw yourself, Devils. Craig, see, this is a big one. Craig Karsh, our boy. He was at the Super Bowl. He watched his team in the crowd win a Super Bowl when the Saints won it.
Yeah, that's great.
How do you top that?
You can't. Maybe
right?
Aaron Boone's home run. Right?
What else? We got Mike Bellino came in. He was with the Gardy walk-off versus Papelbon. I don't think that was a playoff game or anything like that, but he said the stadium was shaking.
Feel good. I know it is Feel Good Football Friday, but like we should have one where it's like, what's the worst thing you ever seen live? Where you like, or like a biggest blunder. Well, I had tickets to the Jeter 3000 home run or 3000 hit game, and I went and I sat and they canceled the game because of rain. And then the next day, they didn't let the tickets. Obviously, it was like scheduled for another day.
Tiki bar for that.
So it was scheduled for another day, and I didn't have tickets for the next day. And then he leads off with a home run the next day. So like the Friday before that Saturday, I had tickets to that game. I'm in the Bronx, ready to see Jeter hit his 3,000th hit, and then they canceled the game because of rain. Brutal.
Who? Oh, Tommy D was what? Continental Airlines Arena. Shaq ripped off the backboard. Oh yeah, he did tell us that too. Oh, wow, that is a good topic for another day. But I flew out to Texas. I was dating a girl at the time, and she's like, I don't want to go, right? And I hope she got hit by a bus after that, because then I had to go by myself. But then I had 2 tickets. So I turned 2 tickets into 1, and I was on the field, right? I was like, yo, the Cowboys are about to beat the Giants, and I'm going to be on the field for it because that bitch didn't want to go, right? So then all of a sudden, Jonathan Pierre-Paul puts his nub up and blocks a field goal, and I'm sitting there in my hands. I'm like, oh my God.
I watched Scott Tolzien throw.
That's a long flight home.
I had Giants-Packers tickets, and Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and I had already bought the ticket, so I had to go watch Scott Tolzien get destroyed and throw pick 6 after pick 6. I also, what else happened with me? There's a good one. There's another good one.
You want to hear? Ready for this? You ready for a catastrophic moment in my life? My mom took me to SummerSlam 95, right? And this was Steve Austin breaks his neck against Owen Hart, and it's the Shawn Michaels referee and Bret Hart with an Undertaker for the championship. I was right over the entrance way, right? The entrance way meaning like if you look down, you could see the guys coming out. After one of the matches was over, I forget which one it was, they walked to the back separately, of course. The winner stayed in the ring, did this rah, rah, right? And then the loser went to the back. The winner's done. He's coming out. I forget what match it was. And you see, like, there was like a weird gust of wind that like knocked the curtain open.
Saw the wind?
No, like something happened where the curtain went over to the side, and I saw the good guy.
Was it Papa Shango?
No, I saw the good guy shake the hand of the bad guy.
Oh, so
and I was like, wait a minute, yeah. You found out wrestling wasn't real.
Right, I'm gonna go. I'll give a wrestling one.
Okay.
I was at the Dunn Arena in Elizabeth, and I watched Abdul the Butcher and someone else against the Road Warriors, and I had no idea LOD before they were leaving.
Yeah, what a rush!
Right. So I'm in Elizabeth with my father, my uncles, and my brother, and Abdul the Butcher is gushing blood. Right. And he's walking out of the ring after slicing his face with 50 razor blades. And my father is talking crazy shit to him. And he got in my dad's face, but it was obviously fake. Like it was wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm young. So I punched my father right in his jaw. I turned. It might even have been my brother that punched him, but one of us punched my father in the jaw because we were like, dude, you're going to get killed. Like he just fought the Road Warriors.
The Butcher's going to fork your forehead.
Then there's another one where my father had tickets, or everybody used to go to the Kickoff Classic in Pop Warner football. It was like a big thing.
Right.
And Penn State played, I think, Georgia Tech at the time. OJ McDuffie, Penn State team,
nice.
Right? And I got left home. Like there was no ticket for me, and it was the most devastating moment of my entire life. And then one more was what other one?
It took a dark turn.
Yeah,
and there's a darker one that's in the comments.
Wait, let's go to that.
Scoop. Weird one. I saw Owen Hart die. Bro, that was in like Minneapolis or something. Like, what are you doing over there?
What were you doing?
It definitely wasn't in Jersey.
It's a tough one.
That was a rough one.
I also traveled to Green Bay, and this one's going to hurt a little more for obvious reasons once I say it. I traveled to Green Bay for week 1 of the NFL season to watch the season kick off, and the Packers faced the Colin Kaepernick ran 49ers. Ugh. And they beat us week 1 in Green Bay, and I had to go there to watch that. But I did have tickets because they played the Bears the following Thursday. So I stayed for 2 games, and I did at least get the lead with a dub.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Scoop's coming in. It was Kansas City. Sorry, Rob. Is Rob Bohannon a big wrestling guy?
I guess.
I mean, if he's calling out, me and Rob just became best friends. You can jump on the Combat Sports podcast. Yeah, he was in Missouri. Scoop came in. I was in Missouri.
Tell you what, Rob, next Monday when we record, come on in. He said he wants to come by and check out the studios.
We're going to talk about Rumble, so come on in.
Work is closed on Monday, bro.
There you go. So, yeah, he was in Missouri, and he saw Owen Hart. The worst part about that is that, like, there's things that happen in the world and in life.
Ooh, Tommy with the dark joke. He's like, dude, we all saw Owen Hart die.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Tommy. No, but, like, in that moment.
You're about to get banned from YouTube
I remember, now. Yeah, I remember JR and King had to make the announcement, and, like, he's like, Owen Hart. I mean, Jim Ross was like, Owen Hart fell here tonight, and Owen Hart's
Who is
dead.
this? Is this
Jim Ross?
Wait, Jerry Jones did
Jerry
did the commentary because that's
I did Jim
they have the
Ross and
same.
Jerry Jones
Wait, they have the same voice.
Yes, they have the
That's
same
crazy.
voice, same guy. Yeah. So he's like, Owen Hart has died, and that was it. And then he's like, he has died here tonight, and he takes a step back, and they're like, it's time. Those were the Godfather to come out and wrestle. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm watching this on pay-per-view, and I'm like, the guy just is dead, pronounced dead, and you say the show must go on?
Well,
holy shit.
You know who Vince
Can we get back to the good stuff?
Vince McMahon is a
Comment from
legend for
David
that.
Sturcio.
What? That's my dad.
Yeah, I thought that was your brother for a
Best
second.
moment, his best moment, he said he was in Rawway and he watched Destruction
Shout
win
out
the
to
Rookie
Papa
Battle
Serge
Rumble.
dropping
Shout out,
comments.
Dad.
Sturcio in there. I was like, did you just do that?
No,
Was that
you know what? And a long time
I was
ago,
like, Dave, they could see it's you.
a long time
Your
ago, I
name
would have
is
done
there.
it. I would have said that. I would have been like, oh, let me sneak this one in. But my dad did it for me. What's up, Dad? Clearly, another busy day at work for my dad. So he's over there talking about me winning a battle royal. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Yours truly, 24 other competitors. Sole survivor, hand raised, Rawway, New Jersey. A legend was born, and the legend died about 10 minutes after that. But so there's more. Hold on, I had to get to more now, but we went for like a dark turn. Way to go, Chris. That was gold, though. By the way, it was really good. Let's see. This guy Sawyer, I forget his first name. He was at the Jeter Flip, so you're in Oakland to watch that one. That was pretty cool. I mean, that moment will stand the test of time forever. Glenn Allen. Good friend of mine. I've known Glenn since like school 14, way back then. He saw American Pharaoh win the Triple Crown. He was like on the gate watching it. It's pretty cool.
I always have an issue with saying that that's a sport.
Horse racing?
Yeah.
Like there's competition, there's a winner, there's money, there's championships involved. What's not the sport? The jockey, I guess the jockey doing the right? Like, what is that?
It is actually really physically demanding for those jockeys.
Right. It's physically demanding to go lay
All
brick.
5'4" of each
So,
one.
like, have you ever seen a guy lay concrete? Physically demanding. It's not a sport.
Yeah, but they don't win awards. Can't
They
gamble on
might. Have you ever been?
Have you ever won the
Have
concrete
you ever
award?
been to a Mason's?
Holy
I
shit!
don't even know. Do they have
That's
events?
so funny. Oh my goodness gracious!
I don't know. Horse racing. Horse
Kyle
racing
said
is
he's too short to be pushed over the rope.
Gamble on, but it's definitely. I come on. When they're doing the ESPN did their top 100 athletes of all time, there was like 6 horses. The fuck, and none of them were Christina Cyborg.
Oh my god!
That one was for Tommy.
Dan Sharkey, my boy Shark, and this I actually commented on this one. He goes, I was at Johan Santana's no hitter, and I was like, no hitter. You remember that? Remember the foul ball that was called foul?
I like Johan. I've always had a thing for
but
Johan.
it's like the one Mets no hitter
carried me
that they
to
were
some fantasy
carrying.
championships when he had that run. That was the best changeup I've ever seen in my entire life.
Santana?
Johan's changeup
Yeah.
when he had that thing going, best changeup I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, that's happening, by the way. Let's do a Meadowlands Racetrack Day. Chop Sports Adventure.
Oh yeah, we already tried to do that last year, but it was like,
Well,
we
we were like COVID was like
yeah,
really,
it
really
wasn't,
rampant.
it wasn't
and
worth
shit.
it. It
But
wasn't
yeah,
worth
no,
it.
we're definitely doing that this year, 110%, because
I
it's a
haven't
good
got to
time.
bet horses yet.
Huh?
I said I haven't got to bet horses.
Oh my
yet.
god,
I'm
can you
down.
imagine like they make the beaver like
I'm
this-
gonna go
the
there
horse
and
specialist?
you know what I'm gonna do when
Like-
we go to the horse
a
track?
horse prop beaver.
I'll sit in the sports book the entire time. And
Right.
Just bet
If
on
you
the
go to
games.
Meadowlands, you'll be sitting in the
I'm
FanDuel
not
sports
betting
book.
on horses because that's just donating money. I have no clue.
What do you mean donating money? Like one's a long shot, one's a favorite, one's a just like
I
anything
know.
else.
Okay, they all look the same to me. It's like I'm good on that.
When you have all the baseball
if
players look
Toast
the
is
same.
right there, if Toast is there, I'll tail the Toast because he seems like somebody that would just sit at and watch the ponies. He bangs the paper on his thigh like
Just shout out to Sam Grasso who won't come because Monmouth Racetrack is closed. Then don't come. Like if we do a racetrack,
I think
just
he
come.
said that because Kyle said this.
Scoop, I'm in if you switch to Monmouth Park. 8 minutes from my house.
I think
And that's another sports book. There's
they're
another
just
one there.
feuding.
Who? Scooping?
No, Sam.
Oh,
and,
Sam and
Kyle
Kyle,
are
okay.
feuding
All right.
about the location.
Back to the list
No, they're
here.
agreeing.
There's only a
Oh.
couple more. There's only a couple more. Sean Ryan was at the fake spike with Dan Marino against the Jets. That's cool. Yeah, that stands the test of time. Will be played over and over and over again for the rest of your life. Pat Kenny had like a list of 6, but I guess a couple of them he was at one game in Magic Johnson's rookie year. He's at the David Wells perfect game, which we brought up. We brought up the David Cohn
The
one.
question
David
is,
Wells.
does he still have the Beanie Baby that they gave out that day?
Ooh, that's probably worth a whole lot of nothing, but You never know. And the last one, Hawaii Mike had 2. He said he sat in the same seat for both of these events. So I guess when he was living in over here, stateside, I say stateside, he lives in Hawaii. It's not like he's not in the country. But he saw Jim Abbott's no-hitter, and then he saw Josh Hamilton's home run derby, same seat. Wherever he was sitting, he saw both of these events. So what a great extreme, because
I always wanted to go to
Josh
a home
Hamilton
run derby. I tried hard to get to the home run derby at Yankee Stadium, but it was just, they got so expensive, and I was like, I just can't do it.
And unless you're in one spot,
I just can't do it. And
it's not. I don't think it's worth it.
I'm pretty sure. Who was the guy's name? Josh Hamilton. He's a real bad guy now.
Yeah, he's a bad person.
He turned back into a scumbag.
Yeah, he was a little bit of a druggy McDruggerson back then.
Yeah, but like, I'll give him the pass on the druggy McDruggersons. It's just like when you're a shitty father and like there's abuse involved. Yeah.
It's a good thing I'm the greatest outside of my dad and outside of Danny. You missed mine, Scoop a Loop. You saw Marino's last game, 62-7 loss against the Jaguars. Well, that's a feel-good story for you and a Marino, for all those Marino jock huggers. Like that's not a good story.
So I got
for them.
Rob. That's consistent in the chat with the wrestling comments. So I would imagine, yes, he is a wrestling
with it,
big wrestling fan. But I want to direct you, Rob. Did you guys make Rumble picks on the show?
We did not.
Well, he's asking for your Rumble pick. His prediction is that Brock Lesnar loses and then enters the Rumble and wins it.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that.
So that's
because I'm a Brock Lesnar guy.
I know how wrestling works, so I guess that's a good prediction.
That's a great prediction. I love that. But you know who won't love that? Every single wrestling Mark boy will not like seeing Brock Lesnar win that.
They won't like it, but I don't think you understand. I'm pretty sure you do. Like, that is great for business.
Yeah, no, listen,
they don't have
Brock
to like
is in the headlines.
When the hated guy is the guy, that's the best. Anyway.
Saturday, yes, Kyle. Tomorrow is the Royal Rumble. We should draw numbers from a hat. Listen, I'm in like 3 Royal Rumble pools.
I'll gamble on the Royal Rumble if it's just by drawing something. I'm not going to make a pick.
You need 30 numbers. So what we should do is this. I'll tell you what.
I'll take number 12.
Well, no. You don't get to just pick your number. So what we'll do is this. We'll, depending on how many people get in, right now, we'll do it from now until literally like 4 o'clock. So 4-hour window to see how many people want to be in. Maybe like $10 a person, right?
We can't do anything for $10.
$20 a person, whatever. And then however many people you get in. So if we get 10 people, you're each going to get 3 numbers because there's 30 people. And it's only the men's rumble. I don't want to do the women's rumble. That's just nothing against that.
And what we were talking about yesterday, that has the legs too. I was really, really thinking about in depth yesterday at work and talking to some of my coworkers about doing that whole fantasy gambling thing.
Yeah.
Where we just pick, 20 games on a slate every day and everybody's got to pick them and you're facing one person. So, we do weighted games, go head to head and run a gambling league where you don't have to bet on any individual games, but you have to pick all of them every night. And then, everyone got to pick 70 games a week.
Now, let's full disclosure. There's going to be like an entry fee, but you don't have to bet the actual games. Like Kyle, yes.
It's going to be treated like a fantasy football format, fantasy baseball format, but betting on all sports. So you might end up having to bet on a tennis match or something like that. You might have to pick. We're just going to randomly pick games from a slate and see where we go from there. I think that's a good idea.
It's got some legs, man. I've never heard it. I've never heard it. Usually, like I said, every office in America, every corporate office in America has like, here's the Sunday slate, pick your teams. And you're like, well, I like green, so go Jets. Like a lot of people don't know what the hell's going on. But if we have like a hardcore 10 slates, no matter, and I'm talking cross sport, you know what I'm saying? Like when baseball season's prominent, that means you're going to also have the NBA, the NHL.
Yeah.
You toss them all on there in one slate. That'll be dope. Let's get it going. But yes, the Royal Rumble's tomorrow. I'm excited about it because look, we'll all be snowed in. So I got nothing to do outside of listening to a bunch of crying babies, including myself, more or less. I'll probably be crying too. Mark, I'd pay more if I'm Canadian. $1 ain't shit now. How many Canadian? Oh, that's Mark. That's your boy. That's the chop heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's up, Mark? But yeah, so Royal Rumble.
He was making fun of the Canadian value of the Canadian dollar. It's not like ours is much better.
I was going to say, I raise you the value for the American dollar, which is probably going away at some point because it's that bad. But in any event, this has been another long, nice, drawn-out episode of the Chop Sports Daily. We want to thank you guys for watching. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Now that my dad's on YouTube, Dad, you better subscribe now. And if you wanted me to walk you through it, I'll walk you through it as well. But thank you guys for the support. Chop Sports will be back on the daily on Monday to go over not only the the Super Bowl matchup, but of course the entire weekends of slates. I know Kyle has a massive night with the NBA tonight, so go over to kylekerms.com, go to his YouTube channel as well. I'm sure he'll be putting out a couple videos with the Beaver, and then of course, that's really it.
I have
guys.
a new name for Kyle's picks. I know yesterday in the chat he was talking about Hammerhead
Yeah.
Shark, Hammerhead this, so it's like the Hammerhead Dick pick.
I don't know how well that's going to be received, but it's catchy. It's catchy. I like it.
We had
I think
a
that we
friend
might
that
get
did the big dick pick of the week.
Big dick pick of the week.
Oh, and when you say friend, I think you're throwing that term around rather loosely. Because I know who that is. And I don't think he's fit. I'm not going to bash anybody.
Don't bash anybody.
Previous friend.
Well, when we get off the air, bash the Christ out of him, but not now. But thank you guys for watching today. Be sure, again, like the video. If you want to join the Patreon over the weekend because you're feeling nice and you're feeling giving, patreon.com/ChopSports helps us out. And let's continue to grow. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the Rumble. Enjoy the NBA. Enjoy all the sports this weekend. For Sturch, that's me. I was pointing already for Sturch and Gooch. And, of course, Dina for coming in, feeling like shit after her first shot. Thank you so much for coming in, Dina, and running the boards. And we'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend.